YouTube, what's going on? Listen, it's your boy ATM and the ATM Squad, man. Hopefully everybody been enjoying the weekend. Happy Sunday to everybody, man. And listen, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm thanking God for the opportunity to be able to be back and get on here, man, and share with you guys some information. And hopefully it's valuable information to you guys. Just really want to be able to help educate individuals on basic money management principles, right? That's all it is. Basic money management principles for you to take control of your finances, man. So listen, I'm so proud that you guys are tuning in. And again, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, press that notification bell, right? And let me know what you think about these videos, man. And I'm gonna continue to post these up at least once a week, and make sure I stick to that. Listen, today want to really talk to you guys about three fundamental accounts that everybody, no matter, like I said, if you're a business owner, you're employee, self-employed, this is just the basic, the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum of what everybody should have. These three priority accounts that I'm going to discuss with you guys today, right? Which is your emergency fund, your short-term account, and then your wealth building account, right? These are three basic priority accounts that everybody should have structured, and they should be operating their finances out of. And we're going to go and explain each of those three and then kind of how you can allocate those accounts. But at the end of the day, it's going to be totally up to you. But I hope you enjoy this information. So again, when it comes down to the three priority accounts, the first one is your emergency fund. This account is strictly for emergencies only, right? I got to stress that it's for emergencies only. And we like to say 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. And some people, I chose 3 to 6 months worth of income just to kind of be extra on a safe side, but mainly 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. But let's say your expenses equaled up to $5,000 a month, right? So 3 months worth of expenses for yourself would look like $15,000 that you saved up in an emergency fund, right? And if you do 6 months, again, that's about $30,000. And that, again, that money is for emergencies only. So that's for unforeseen events, unforeseen medical issues. Let's say if the hot water heater goes out, right? Or the brakes goes out on a car and I need to get new brakes, right? So it's for those things that we know pretty much are gonna happen. We just don't know when they're gonna happen. So we just want to be prepared for those events. Loss of job. So with this pandemic that took place, right? With this COVID-19 pandemic, it was a lot of people who missed out. They lost their jobs and they didn't have any income coming in for a couple of months. So a good, healthy emergency fund of 3 to 6 months worth of income, even though an individual would have lost their job, it wouldn't have been a total financial devastation to that family, because they were prepared, right? So that's the goal of that emergency fund, is to prepare for those unforeseen events that could take place, and not like I said, not that they will, but if they do take place, we're prepared in the event those things take place, up until we get some income coming in and up until those issues get fixed. Then whatever it is we used out of that account, we'll go back and we'll replenish that account back to the fully funded 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is that you're comfortable with, right? That number is totally up to you, how much you want to be able to put away. As long as you're comfortable with it, leave it at that amount. And again, don't use that money unless an emergency takes place. All right, the second account we want to talk about, guys, is your short-term account. Inside that short-term account is going to be for your short-term purchases within a 3-year time frame, and really within the 3 to 5 year window if you plan to have a purchase. So let's say you want to save up for a vacation for you and your family, right? That's what that short-term account is for. If you want to save up for a down payment for a home, right? If you want to save up to purchase a new car, right? That short-term account is there for short-term purchases, and we like to say within a 3 to 5 year time frame, that's money that you're saving up because you plan on using it within the next 3 years. And then the third account, it'll be your wealth building account. And it's simple enough. This account is where you whether it's a 401k, whether it's an IRA, right? Whether it's some type of self-directed IRA or some type of brokerage account or some type of tax deferred account, that you're using for wealth building purposes for retirement, right? That's money that I don't plan on touching until I reach my retirement age, but I want to be able to put that money to work, and I want that money to work for me, right? I want that money to be able to make me money, right? And that's what those accounts set up as far as your wealth building account. So anything that again, that's making you additional money, that your money's making you additional money, or is bringing you in some type of dividend or some type of payment that you can use again for putting away and investing for the long term, right? That's what that wealth building account is for: long term investment, or your wealth building, or investing for your retirement years. So those three priority accounts, again, your emergency fund, your short term account, and your wealth building account. Now, the way you can structure that is, I like to say 50% goes into your emergency fund, 25% goes into your short-term account, and 25% goes into your wealth building account. Now, you can reallocate those funds the way you want and what's comfortable for you, but I would always tell people, recommend getting that emergency fund built up as quick as possible. And once that emergency fund is built up to 3 to 6 months, again, or whatever it is you're comfortable with, then you stop contributing to that account, and then you start focusing just strictly on the short term in the wealth building account. Whether you do 50%, 50%, whether you do 25% in the short term, 75% into your wealth building, however you choose to allocate those funds, that's totally up to you, right? But once that emergency fund gets fixed up, your focus is your short term and your wealth building. And let's say you reach the amount of money that you wanted in your short-term account for a short-term purchase. Let's say you needed $5,000 for a vacation, and you saved that $5,000 up for that vacation. If you want to stop contributing to that short-term and start focusing strictly on the wealth building, you can do that to where as though you committing 100% of your funds to that wealth building account up until, right, you want another short-term purchase. Then you start to look at, say, hey, I'm gonna do 50% in my wealth building, and again 50% into my short term. If you use any bit of money out of your emergency fund for emergency purposes only, right? If you use that money, right, you want to be able to replenish that money back to the full amount of what it's supposed to be in that fund. So if I got three months worth of income, and that's $15,000, but I used $5,000 because an emergency came up and I needed $5,000 for that particular emergency, right? Then I'm gonna build back up that emergency fund back until it gets to $15,000, or whatever that amount that you chose that you're comfortable with for your emergency fund. So again, it's strategic planning and reallocating and allocating funds. If you're using something, if you got a short-term purchase, you use that and you want to save up again, right? A percentage of your income is going to all these different accounts. And once you satisfy that need, right, everything else ongoing goes into your wealth building account. But your wealth building account never stops being contributed to. You're constantly contributing to your wealth building account no matter what, right? Even if you're doing short-term and emergency, you're constantly giving it the minimum 25% to that wealth building account for wealth building purposes, for retirement purpose. Because again, when we get older, when we get in our retirement years, we want to be able to have some money that we can use, because we might not be working for the rest of our lives, right? So we want to be able to have something set aside that we can still be able to take care of any expenses that we have while we're still here, while we're still living. Listen, hopefully that helped you guys. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share, press that notification bell. We so doggone proud that you guys are here, man. Let's go make this thing happen. Let's become great. Let's go do something big. Proud to be your teammates. We'll see you guys at the top.